Hey, we're gonna wait a couple more minutes for some people to filter in, and then we're gonna start. Um, I don't know. What when do we think, Allison? 5:05?
Sure.
5:05. Yeah.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Rob Snow. I'm the president of the National Governing Council of Mu Alpha Theta. I'm also joined tonight by Dana Wade, the executive director of Mu Alpha Theta. In addition, we have Peter Lee, our student delegate vice president, and Allison G, our student delegate secretary, who will be leading this meeting with you this evening, describing the upcoming national convention in Las Vegas this July. We're going to give all the attendees a few more minutes to join us, and then Peter will begin. If anyone has any questions during the meeting, please put them in the chat. I will be monitoring the chat and will be happy to either let Peter or Allison answer the questions, or I can answer the questions for you in the chat. So we'll be starting in about 2 minutes. So everyone just please be patient and we will begin in a few minutes.
Not that bad. All right, I think it's time to start. Seems as if the entrance has died down a little bit. So this is the Mu Alpha Theta March 17th meeting. I'm Peter Ladd, Vice President of Region 2.
And I'm Allison Schitt, the secretary from Region 3.
Jesse and Mackenzie both are not available right now, so we're going to be running the meeting today. So we're going to talk about why you should go to nationals, some of the specific tests, and how to study, along with the National Delegate Assembly lunches that meet once a day, and then opening up the floor for questions. Feel free to ask questions throughout, anytime they pop up. So, why you should go to nationals? Number one, competing in a prestigious national competition. Number two, meeting like-minded peers from all over. Three, exploring Las Vegas through exciting excursions. I know the Sphere is one of the excursions, and then Cirque du Soleil is another one. And then having a blast with your friends. I remember 2 years ago, I took this photo 2 years ago. We were in the lobby of the hotel, and we played Uno with a bunch of people, and it's fun. And there's a lot of uh, chances, opportunities to meet new people and have fun with your friends as well, especially um, in Las Vegas. Learning from amazing, interesting professionals. So last year we had a professor from Arkansas University speak to us and give a keynote presentation, and I know we're going to have another one this year. Um, and there's also talks throughout the week from various professionals. I know the representative from Texas Instruments is a popular one. I remember going to that one a couple of years ago, and they had demonstration calculators for us. And then exploring math through fun and specialized topics, including through the different events we have.
All right, next, I'm going to talk about the different events that we have at Nationals. So the first one that we have on here is the topic test. Everyone is going to pick 3 tests from each of the rounds based off of their level, mu, alpha, or theta. And then throughout the week, they're going to take a test based off of the topics. If you need a description of the topics, you can look at the sponsor packet, and it has little descriptions for each. And usually you can match up the topics from this year to old topic tests that we have, and you can use those to study and stuff like that. Next we have ciphering, which is 12 open response questions given individually. Everyone is going to take them. I know that at like some tournaments, like not everyone takes the ciphering test, but everyone here is going to. You get 3 minutes per each question. The scoring goes 12 points for a question in the first minute, 8 points for a question in the second minute, and 4 points for the question in the third minute. We also use a sliding scale, which basically means that if nobody gets it correct in the first minute for whatever level you're in, then the second round would become the 12-point worth question. So stuff like that. Our next test is hustle. The description was way too long to put on here, but essentially you're gonna have, I think, 5 students. Sorry, give me a second. Oh, yes, sorry, 4 students. And so they'll be given a huge packet of 125 questions, and there'll be 6 rounds. And in the first round, you have to submit 25 questions. And from there, you can get a certain amount of points for each one. And that point level decreases as the rounds go on. There are different types of questions, like different categories, and you can only submit 5 from each category. It's a very involved type of test, but if you take this test, you'll obviously learn more about it. And if you need more information about it, I know that Mr. Snow has an example video of hustle on our website. Okay, and then the next test is relay. So students will be seated as theta, alpha, and mu. And after 3 questions, the students will move back, and each student will have their own question to work on. And these questions are based off of the answers from the previous person. So say you're A, you're going to answer that first question, and then you have to pass your answer back so that the next person can answer their own question. You can also ask for your question back if you need to work on that. And you would just do that by snapping your fingers or tapping the person in front of you. Each question can be submitted in 6 minutes, and you get a certain amount of points for whenever you submit it. The next test would be the poster contest. A theme is announced at the opening ceremony every year, and from there, students can work on a poster throughout the week, and then they'll eventually submit that. They get graded on that based off of content, relevance to theme, artistic quality, and overall appearance. So you want to make sure it looks really nice, but you want to also make sure that you're incorporating all of those math topics. The next test is your inter-school test. It's kind of different every year. This is my school taking the test. Last year, it was based off of trivia from different continents. But the year before that, it was like more of like a random question thing. Like it was just like any random knowledge that you could think of. That one was fun. And then the last test we have on here would be Chalk Talk. One student from each level, from each school, is going to give a 7-minute speech max. They already have their topics. They can start working on those. They're pretty broad topics, so you can kind of like do whatever you want with that. There'll be an initial round, and from there, the top 10 will advance to the finals and give their speech in front of a panel of judges at the actual competition and decide who the winner is. I mentioned all of these tests because if you'll go to the next slide, Peter. These competitions are the ones that are going to be scored for sweepstakes, including, well, also your individual tests, but I think most of you know what that is. If not, I can explain if any of y'all had any questions, but basically this is how it'll be scored. And from there you can win like top school and stuff like that.
Now, studying for nationals. There are a bunch of past tests from many years and years, going back years and years on the More for Theta website. That is definitely the best way to practice doing those tests because a lot of concepts repeat as well. Florida tests are also available on the Florida Format website. Those will be of a similar difficulty usually compared to the national tests. Also, YouTube is not a bad resource for trying to figure out topics. Khan Academy, I've used Khan Academy to quickly learn a calculus concept that I did not learn or that I needed extra help learning. These are very important resources, especially the More for Theta website for studying for nationals. Those tests are invaluable and you have a lot of practice and a lot of real world, not real world, but like real simulations. So timing yourself and making sure you limit yourself as well to the correct timings of each test is important as well. Now for the National Delegate Assembly. We have one representative from every school at the convention can come to the delegate lunches. At the delegate lunches, we make changes in the bylaws, and then the big thing every year is elections. Every region nominates one or has an election for their region representative, and then each region representative goes on to be elected by the whole National Delegate Assembly for president, vice president, secretary, and treasurer. That is probably one of the most important things we do at the National Delegate Assemblies, along with, looking through and looking at the bylaws and such. But definitely elections is a big thing. Now, does anyone have any questions that they have in general about anything about nationals or about anything we've talked about yet?
Peter, I just want to mention too that I got asked this the other day by someone on Instagram. They were asking like what are the requirements to run? You have to have already attended a national convention. So it has to be your second year to run for an office. And obviously you don't want to be a senior who's graduating and going to college. So just keep that in mind. You can always be a delegate, having it not been your first year and also like being a senior, but you want to like just know that ahead of time.
All right. Yeah, we have Allison just mentioned our Instagram at Mu Alpha Theta. The board will be, that is a student run account. We will be available to answer any questions you have. Also the Discord, Jesse's email is here and also my email is here as well. If you ever have any questions, you can feel free to send us an email. Now, no questions yet from the audience. Allison, was there anything else you would like to mention?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I think we hit the important parts in our presentation. Is there anything else you want to hear more about? Anyone here, anything else you want to hear more about? The hotel, the suite. well. I I think we're pretty much done. Um, I don't see any reason, any need to extend this further. If no one else has any questions.
One thing that Miss Wade just said in the chat, and it is important for all the students out there and the sponsors who are here joining us, our overall deadline to pay all the bills and send in all the forms is May 1st. But you do get a early bird price, saving $25 per person on registration if you get everything in by April 24th, a week before. So for those of you who are planning to go to Las Vegas or your schools are planning to go, please get that information to your sponsors so that they can pay before the April 24th deadline and save $25 per person attending the convention in Vegas. It may not seem like a lot of money, but if you do have a large number of students and sponsors attending, it does save you money by turning it in just 7 days earlier than the official final deadline of May 1st. We will be having one more meeting in the middle of April, I believe Sunday, April 14th, before the May 1st deadline. We will then be having meetings in May and June. And the schools that are attending Las Vegas, of course, will really want to come to those to just see the dotting of the I's and the crossing of the T's as we approach the convention in Vegas, so that they can be made fully aware of everything specifically going on during that week for the national convention. Does anyone else have any questions of any kind? Okay, thank you all very much for coming this evening and have a good night.